Hello there. Today we are going to try to understand how the head element is used to supply information about the document. The head element basically is just one of HTML elements, and there are a couple of information that could be embedded into the head element. So those are the things we're going to be looking at today. Right, so let's take a look at the 5 items that typically will reside in the head element. The first one is the metadata, followed by the document titles or scripts, then styles and links to external files. So I'm going to take them in detail one at a time. I know I've mentioned something relating to metadata in the past, but let's look at it in more detail and some of the aspects that you need to cover in the syllabus. So what exactly is metadata? So metadata is essentially information about data. It is the machine understandable information for the web. So that means it's those kind of information that you embed into your documents that the web understands, that the web can interpret logically. Okay, so now the elements that you use to represent the metadata, is the meta tag here. That's this one here. So whenever you see the meta tag, you know that is the element that tries to that wants to deals with information relating to metadata. Okay, so the meta tag provides metadata about the HTML document. So let's take a look at an example below. So for example, to specify the author of a document, remember it just tells you, gives you more information about the data. As a matter of fact, the things inside the data elements are not seen in the web page, okay? They're just information that helps so many things to happen well. So we're going to be looking at the so many things that will be happening well as a result of the meta tag. All right, so this example basically just explains how you can specify the author's name in a document, okay? Who created this document? For instance, you are looking for a document that maybe a specific author created. If you Google it, what comes up? So the information that you put inside this author section is what will make that particular page come up. You know, when you search for that document, for instance. So to specify the author of a document, one may use the meta element as follows. So again, you specify the meta tag there, and you now specify the name. Okay, the name is the attribute. Remember, so this is the elements, this is the attribute, and this is the value. Remember, element, attribute, value. EAV, element, attribute, value. Okay, that's just standard. So that's the value now. Just say whatever the author there. Then again, what exactly is the content? Okay, so this is the attribute for the content. Then you can now specify the name of the author. Okay, so these are the very essential elements that will be and attributes that will be in the tag when you want to specify the name of an author. Okay, so the name, you specify author, and the content will not be the name. Then the following are some of the values for names. Okay, so that is for this particular attribute. So you could say name, application name, you now specify this is instead of author. Then another name could be description, right? That's another thing that you could put here, could be description, or could be the keywords, or could be the viewpoints or dates or copyrights. Okay, then you now specify exactly what you're looking for under the content. For instance, if we are looking at keywords, so you could say name equal to keywords, then you now the content, you now specify the particular keywords. What are keywords? Keywords are basically the unique things that people search for when they are looking for documents in a website or on Google, you know. So this is where you put the keywords for that particular page to come up, okay? So that's how a specific page pops up when you search for them. All right, so let's see what we have next. Now, another metadata that is very important again is the lag attributes, lang attributes. I think last week we did talk about how you specify languages. We live in a diverse world now, and your content can be viewed all over the world. So it gets to a point where you have to basically interpret specific information on your website in a specific language. So basically, another metadata will be lang. Lang attributes can be used with meta to specify the language for the value of the content. Okay, so this enables speech synthesizers to apply language dependent pronunciation rules. I did mention that as well in the previous exercise. And why exactly do we use the lang attribute? It's basically to allow speech synthesizers to be able to sound things the appropriate way. So for instance, when you put in French or FR, they know, okay, this language is French, and they will sound, if you want it to be pronounced the way it should be pronounced, then you have to put the lang attribute for you to get it right. So this example here is basically shows the name of the author, and the language, of course, that's another attribute, and it's specified, and the content of what you want to have there, it's the Arnold Lee Haas. Hopefully I pronounced that well. Right. So another metadata, which of course I'd mentioned already, is the keywords. So it's basically a common use of meta is to specify keys that a search engine may use to improve the quality of search engines. For example, for speakers of US English, you can see how they can specify the keyword saying that it is language and it is actually ENUS. So whatever accent or whatever pronunciation or spelling it wants to be interpreted will take cognizance of the fact that this is for and the type of English is for US, so you specify it there. So as you can see there now, in this regards, it says ENUS, and the content is vacation, Greece, and sunshine. Then for British one, the same thing, holiday, Greece, sunshine. So for accents, you'll be the interpreter will be able to pronounce it the right way. And of course, for France, the same thing. So you can see that there. Right, then metadata link, that's another one again. The effectiveness of search engine can also be increased by using the link. Elements to specify links to translations of the document. For instance, you actually want to convert all your document to French or to German or whatever. When you click on the link, when you link it up with a proper document that will help with the interpretation, that will actually help your page render in a specific language. So you can see that here. So the link is very good. So this example that I have here, you can see that it's put again within the head tag and the metadata here. So this is how you do that. HTTP equivalent, then PICS label. What exactly does that mean? The PICS label basically will just it's basically some sort of documents that assist in interpretation of specific information that's needed on the web page. So this particular metadata is linking to the PICS label. All right. Okay, so these are some examples I've mentioned previously, and then some other stuff. So some basic examples that is very important for you to know for this particular qualification. You want to ensure you know how to use the keywords, for instance, the metadata name keywords. And how do you specify the keywords? It's inside the contents here. So the keywords that you're looking for here, for instance, is HTML, CSS, XML, XHTML, and of course JavaScript. Okay, so that's been specified. So this page could be defined. Say for instance, a search engine, you're looking for CSS, information about CSS, or this document particularly contain content about CSS or XHTML. So whenever you search that keyword, put that keyword on Google, most likely this document will come up. So define a description of your web page. So if you want to describe a description of your web page, again, it still comes under the name attribute. You specify a description, then you now explain exactly what sort of description do you want your web page to be? So for this example, it says free web tutorials on HTML and CSS. So that's the description of the page. So for instance, again, you want to Google a page, or you're looking for free tutorials. When you type in free web tutorials on HTML or CSS, most likely that particular page will come up. Then, of course, define the author of a page. We've talked about that already. So again, name, author, content, that's the name. Then refresh documents every 30 seconds. How do you do that? You just make sure you put the HTML equiv, So that's the attribute that helps you to refresh a page content every 30 minutes. This is important, especially with all those live streaming. You want to make sure that page is constantly up to date, So at times, in such a case, the developer will have this meta HTTP equiv and set to refresh to make sure the content is refreshed every 30 seconds. So if you want it to be every 1 second, then you can change the value here to whatever period you want to have it done there. Okay, finally here, setting the viewport to make a web page look good on all devices. This day and age, contents are no longer just consumed from the internet alone, from a computer alone, So there's so many devices that can actually allow you to connect to the internet. So what this viewport does is that whatever device you are trying to use to view the internet, it kind of reduces the page content to fit into that device, which is so good. It makes it look nice in different pages, okay? So developers at times can even design their content to fit different pages, all right? So now, what is this particular one talking about? It says setting the viewport to make your website look good on all devices. So the metadata here is name and is viewport. That's the attribute, the value, I beg your pardon. So the attribute is name and the viewport is the value here. Then what exactly do you want to do? So which is the content here? So you're saying width is equal to width dash width. You just want to make sure you have that. That once you set it to this, width equal to device width. So that means whatever device you are looking at it will automatically fit that device. Then of course you want to set the initial scale to whatever value you want. In this case, you just 100%. So if you want it to be less, if you want it to be more, you just need to increase the number. So this is 1.0 basically means 100%. That is the exact size. Right. So now let's take a look at the next item on the menu, which is title. We've talked about title previously again, but again, just to reiterate it, the title element defines the title of the document and is required in all HTML or XHTML documents. The title element defines a title in the browser. So basically, whatever information you have within the title element does not show in the web page. It only shows in the title in the browser, the title in the browser, and it provides a title of the page when it is added to favorite. So when you click add to favorite, what exactly shows in add to favorite? It is the information that you actually put within the title section of your HTML document. If, for instance, you do not put a title, it will automatically be untitled, and that's horrible. When somebody wants to bookmark your page or to make it as their favorite page, what's going to appear there? Untitled. Hello, that's not good enough. So it's always good to make sure you title your page. Compulsory title your page. It's also good for search engine as well, because search engines are at times to look for your title page. Whatever you have in your title will also help in search engine optimization. Right. So provides a title for the page when it is added to favorite. Displays a title for the page in search engine results. That's exactly what I just said. All right. So let's move on. So the next one is style. Style, this is a very useful one. The style element is used to define style information for a single HTML page. Now, if you are just working on a single HTML page, then you do not have to create an external style. I'm going to be talking about what external style is all about. But if it's just one page, it's advisable for you to put all the decoration, all the things that you want to, all the colors, the background, everything that you want to make your page aesthetic, beautiful, you put it within the style tag. Within the style tag, that's the opening tag and that's the closing tag. So you can see there now, this body is saying background color should be powder blue. So this page here obviously will be sky blue, well, powder blue, whatever that powder blue is, but that's what it's been assigned to. Then of course the H1, any H1 in the H1 element in the page, the color will automatically be red. So you can see it says, so that's the attributes and that is the value. Elements, attributes, and value. The one thing about the style, you can see the style basically, the things that the attribute and the value, right, they are within a curly bracket and it's ended by a semicolon, right? You can see that's what we have here. But to be honest with you, these days at times even without the semicolon it works as well. So the same thing with the paragraph, the elements, the attribute, and the value and the end of the style. All right, so you can place this within the head element and specify what you want, all the decoration that you want on your page. But remember, I said you only use this, it's best to use this if it's just one page, one web page that you are designing. Otherwise you just need to create an external style sheet, which I said we're going to be looking at in depth later on. Okay, right, so the script again, that's very interesting one here. The script element is used to define client-side JavaScript. Client-side. So most of the times you do not see what the script displays. It reacts based on interaction, you know, based on maybe you are requesting for some certain information, you know, or you're trying to go in depth into the values of specific item or specific element in a page. You know, that's when you actually invoke the script. So the JavaScript, for instance, writes hello JavaScript into an HTML element with an ID called demo. So let's take a look at the breakdown of this one here. So that's the opening tag for the script and that is the closing tag for the script. So the function, you can see this is blue, so this means this is a keyword. We're writing a function and saying, and this is the function name. It's okay, I want to create a function. So a function basically is like something that you want to do. You create an action or some certain steps that want to be carried out automatically. So you create a function and save it inside that. So whenever you need it, you can call it back. So basically, since we want to do that, we'll call the keyword function and we give that function name. So whatever function you are creating, you must give it a name. And inside the curly bracket, you now state exactly what you're looking for. You know, so this particular function, you can see it starts with documents. So you're going to look at the document information on the document, and you want to get element by ID. So basically in that document you have created an ID that was named demo. So you're saying, okay, in this big document that we have created, I want to look for something that has the ID name called demo, and inside that demo I want to actually equate it to the word hello JavaScript. Now listen, we are not going into detail with this, later on we will, but this is just to give you an idea that when you want such things to happen in your page, this is what you do. You know, you put it within the script document. All right, so again, this falls under the head element. Then another one is the external one, the external link. So the HTML link element, what does it do? The element is used to link to external style sheets. For instance, now we have the link element, relative, and its style sheet. So basically what is this trying to say? It's trying to say that, okay, we want to connect an external page to this document. So this particular one is called the style sheet. So that means it's something that I want to style your page. All right. And how do we want to do it? We want to link it. Remember, the href is for linking. And what's the name of the page that we want to link? It's called mystyle.css. So this is basically you're creating an external page called mystyle.css, and you put all the design or the decoration inside this page, and you now link it up to this HTML page that we're creating. Okay, it might be sounding a bit abstract now, but when we get into the demo, it will make more sense to you. But you just get in my head and understand that when you're trying to link a page, and you use the you want to connect an external page to your HTML document, you use the link element. All right. Okay, setting the viewport. I did talk about that the viewport previously as well. And HTML5 introduced a method to let web designers take control over the viewport through meta tag. The viewport is the user's visible area of a web page. It varies with the device. You know, like I said, we've talked about this, but the reason I brought this out again is so that you can see exactly how I did mention all this already. You see exactly how it looks. That's the design. So this design here actually shows a page that does not have viewports, right? That is just designed that way. Then this is the one with a viewport that is viewed in a mobile phone, for instance. This is viewed in a mobile phone, but because it wasn't specified, the viewport wasn't there, it just looks so funny. But because the viewport is there, look how beautiful it looks like. Okay. Right. So basically, this is all about today. I hope you understand it. So I will be setting you guys some tasks to kind of and practice your skills. And before then, I will create a video again on the practical side of this this topic. All right. Thanks. Bye bye.